Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about breastfeeding. Now, I have breastfed all three of my babies successfully for at least a year. Well, kind of, but I'll go into more detail about that. I'm still breastfeeding my 9-month-old Auden, and I feel like I have a lot of good information to share with people. I know that breastfeeding is a topic, like it's always a very popular trending topic. I think that this video could help people if they're looking to go on their breastfeeding journey and have questions or concerns. Let's hop right in and get started. So I want to start by saying that I believe that fed is best. I am an advocate for breastfeeding. I love breastfeeding. I think that it's beautiful and amazing, but also I have no problem with formula. Formula is amazing as well. And if you choose to do that, obviously that's 100% your choice, and I'm not shaming anyone at all for making that decision. So yeah, I'm pro breastfeeding, but I'm not anti-formula. Okay, so I made a list so I wouldn't forget. So the first thing that I think is really important, your mind frame is super, super important. When I went into breastfeeding my first baby, Ashton, it wasn't like a choice for me. Like I was like, I'm gonna breastfeed him. When people asked me like, oh, are you gonna breastfeed? I wasn't like, maybe, or I hope so. I was like, yes. Like it was so, so important to me. I had my mind set on it, and it was super, super difficult in the very beginning with feeding Ashton because first of all of my babies are really small. So their mouths were super small, and it was like really difficult to get a good latch with all three of them in the very beginning. And then especially with Ashton in the very beginning, I didn't realize how painful breastfeeding was. Right after I gave birth and the doctor put Ashton on my chest, you know, I was told like, if you're gonna breastfeed, then start, you know, letting the baby latch on. The nurse was standing right next to me, and I was telling her, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, this is all new to me. So she's like, it looks like you're doing fine. Like, just go ahead and, you know, you just show their mouth towards your breast, and you pretty much just like shove your boob in their mouth, which is another thing that like, I thought it was like literally like just the nipple, but it's like, no, it's not. But anyway, so like he latched on, and like immediately like it hurt so bad. And first of all, they don't have teeth, like it's just their gums. So like, I don't know why it hurts so bad, but it did. Like I look at my nurse and I'm like, oh, I think something's wrong, it hurts. And she's like, what do you mean hurts? Like uncomfortable? And I was like, yeah, like it feels uncomfortable. And she's like, well, it's gonna feel like that for a while. Like this is your first time breastfeeding, and your nipples have to like kind of harden up, get used to it or whatever. Like she looked at the latch and like everything was fine, and she's like, that's just how it feels. It's just like so surprising to me. Like for some reason I thought that like you wouldn't even really feel it like when they're breastfeeding, which like after you breastfeed more, like you don't really feel it very much. Yeah, it took weeks for it to not hurt, and to where I could like actually like talk and like do other things, like look on my phone or whatever, like while I was breastfeeding, and not just sitting there like, it hurts so bad. Something else that I was really shocked about was that in the very beginning, it's colostrum. It's not milk that comes out. I didn't know that until I was literally like, after I had my baby, I was like, this isn't milk. Colostrum lasts for like a while. Even when I went home from the hospital, my milk didn't come in for 3 days. I was scared because I'm like, okay, there's not milk coming out. Like my baby's gonna starve. Like something needs to happen. I need to use formula because my milk's not coming out. Eventually it did come out, and when my milk came in, it was like, there was so much milk, like so much. I was able to pump and freeze a ton of milk in the very beginning because so much milk came out. So that's another thing, is like, yeah, there's no milk for a couple of days, but then when it comes, it really comes. Every time that I woke up like in the morning, the first like 3 or 4 months of having my baby and newly breastfeeding, my shirt was just like soaked in milk. I mean, I was leaking constantly, like constantly. And if you're like breastfeeding on one side, it seems like the other side, like milk is just shooting everywhere. So this time around, I heard about this little thing. It's called the Haka or Haka. I don't know exactly what it's called. I don't know how to say it. But pretty much you just like put this over your other boob when you're feeding your baby on the other one. And it catches a ton of your milk. And it's like, it's crazy when you see how much milk it's catching, because you're like, all of that would have just been wasted. but not anymore, not with this. Highly recommend this. If anybody is breastfeeding, I'm like, you gotta have one of these. They're just amazing, like they're literally amazing. Whoever thought of this is very, very smart, and I'm thankful for that. Nursing bras are definitely 100% a must for me. I'm wearing a nursing bra now. I mean, they're so simple, I can show you. It's pretty much, you just click it off like that, and then it, you know, it opens, and then you're able to feed your baby, and then just like clip it back when you're done. This is a game changer. I didn't have a nursing bra with Ashton for a couple of weeks until I went and like did research and was like, is there an easier way like to do this? And when I found nursing bras, they completely changed my life because they make nursing so much easier and so much more comfortable. Which another thing that makes nursing so much easier is tops and tank tops and all kinds of stuff that you can get that are like made specifically for nursing. I would say the first like 4 or 5 months of my baby's lives, I only wore nursing tops. Like that was it, because like you nurse so much in the very beginning, and it's constant. It's like every 2 hours almost. So you nurse so much in the beginning that I'm like, I don't want to like put on a regular shirt. It's just so much easier to unclip, and just feed. It's simple. So definitely makes your life a lot easier when you have a nursing top on. Another thing that happened to me that I didn't know happened, which it only happened to me my second time around with Eve, my daughter. I got a really bad yeast infection in my nipples, and like that was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. It hurt so bad. It literally felt like whenever she nursed, it felt like there was like needles like inside of my breast. It was horrible. I looked it up and I was like, okay, I guess I have a yeast infection in my nipples, which I didn't know that that was a thing. And the best thing that I could do that healed it was you squirt out some of your breast milk and you leave it on your nipple. Another thing that I would do is I would take apple cider vinegar and I would like dip it in the apple cider vinegar, and the apple cider vinegar killed the bacteria. And then I just had to pump. Like her nursing directly was way too painful, so I had to pump for like 5 days until the infection was gone, and I had to do the apple cider vinegar and the breast milk on my nipples until it went away. But that was awful, and I didn't even know that that was a thing. To me, pumping was a very big part of all 3 of my breastfeeding journeys. And I still pump now. I'm 9 months into feeding Auden, and I still pump at least 4 times a week, like at least. I still keep a stash of breast milk in the freezer. This time around, I wanted pumping to be easier. I was sick of being hooked up to a pump and not being able to like do things while I was pumping. I used to think when I was pumping with Ashton and Eve, I was like, I just wish that there was a way that I could just like stick a pump in my shirt and like continue on with my life and like go out and do other things. And then when I was pregnant with Auden, I realized that there was hand-free pumps. Like not even just hands-free, like there was pumps that you could put in your bra and like walk around. And I was like, this is amazing and I have to have this. And so I got one this time around. Okay, so this is my pumping bag. Funny story, my first pumping bag was actually run over with my pump inside of it, very traumatic. But this is my new pumping bag. I got it on Amazon. I love the color. I love the way it looks. It's like a little backpack. And I take this thing with me pretty much everywhere. Because like I said, I use this pump a lot still. This is what it looks like. So this is the pump itself. It's the Willow pump. This is what the outside looks like. And then you have like these little inserts like on the inside. Everything's not together because I just washed this and then just put it in here without putting it together. If you guys want like an actual video on how to use the Willow pump, I will make a video of how to use the Willow pump. But yeah, I love this. It's such a great investment. Worth every single penny. I use it when I'm washing dishes, when I'm cooking dinner. You can even, like in the very beginning when I was nursing Auden when he was like a newborn and I was really tired, you could put on the pump and like sleep and it will pump for you while you're sleeping, and you can lay down. Like how crazy is that? And it's like connected to an app, and the app tells you how much milk is in there. The app tells you when it's full and when you need to stop pumping, and it is just so awesome, especially if you're a working mom. See, like I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I felt like it was essential because I have 2 toddlers that I chase around all day. which it definitely was essential for me, but especially if you're a working mom, it's gonna be a game changer. Like, it has to be a game changer because you can still continue working while you're pumping. Like, it's amazing. Another thing, drink lots of water. You need to stay hydrated. That's really important. I drink a ton of water. I also drink Body Armor drinks, which aren't like the best for you, but they have a lot of vitamins in them that are good for breastfeeding. So, but water is like the #1 thing. Like, drink a lot of water. I do use a nipple cream. This is like the 3rd nipple cream that I've tried. I don't have like a favorite nipple cream. I feel like they all work well in my opinion, but I'm gonna show you the nipple cream that I use. I always put this nipple cream on when I get out of the shower. I've never had like cracked or dry nipples before, and I think that the reason is because I'm pretty good with putting on my nipple cream. So yeah, and I would also put on the cream right before I pumped. It was like, I read something about like dry pumping, which is like pumping without some kind of like oil or cream, and how uncomfortable that was. And like I saw that it was saying like if you put on like cream first or some kind of like coconut oil or something, it really enhances like your pumping experience and it's more comfortable. So I tried it, and ever since I tried it, I won't go back to dry pumping. It makes a difference, and it does make it more comfortable to pump. I'm just gonna touch on this subject because I don't want to like go off into a rant. When I first started nursing, I was really uncomfortable with nursing in front of people because they would act uncomfortable that I was nursing. So I didn't nurse in front of people for a while. I would like go to another room. I tried to like pump before they came over so I could just like give the baby a bottle. And then I realized, I'm like, this is like ridiculous. I mean, of course, like I don't like take off my top and just like start nursing. Like, it's not like that, you know. It is discreet in a way, but yeah, I'm nursing, and if you have a problem with it, then like I don't really want to be friends with you anyways. That was something that I really had to get comfortable with, like for myself. Some people aren't comfortable with nursing in public, and getting a cover, it's totally like your choice. And I would recommend the Milk Snob cover. It's the most breathable cover I've ever used. I would try to cover them like in certain like instances, like I would try and cover like in certain public places or whatever, but like there is a point where like your baby doesn't want to be covered. Like now, if I tried to cover Auden now, like being 9 months old, if I tried to cover him, he would literally just like grab it and like yank it off. Like, no. Something that made my breastfeeding journey a lot easier, especially in the very beginning, was a boppy pillow. This is a nursing pillow and it's amazing, especially when you have a newborn. These are essential in my opinion. You wrap them around your body like this, and your baby just sits there, and it puts them like right in contact with your breast, and it's just so easy. Also, whenever people came over to like hold him in the very beginning when he was a newborn, they would use this because it was just so much easier just to like not have to just like sit there like that and just like have the baby resting on the pillow. I don't know, but this is essential in the beginning to me. I love it, and I actually still use it. I started to use it when my baby first started to sit up. When all 3 of my babies like first started to sit up, I would just put this behind them, and if they fell, they would fall over onto the pillow and it would be completely fine. So I feel like you can use these for a while. It's not just the very beginning. So I love these, and I definitely recommend them to everybody that is having a baby. Like, get a boppy pillow and take it to the hospital with you. So yeah, breastfeeding is hard. Breastfeeding takes a lot of dedication, especially in the very beginning of breastfeeding. You feel like you're doing it all of the time, and you feel that way because you are. To me, it's worth it. I feel really accomplished for being able to breastfeed 3 babies for as long as I did. With my first baby, Ashton, I got up to breastfeeding him for 10 months. I was actually pregnant when he was 9 months old. I got pregnant with my second baby. So they say that the taste of your milk changes, and I think that that's definitely true because he started weaning himself at 10 months. And I was like sad about it. I was like, why are you doing that? Like, why doesn't he want to nurse anymore? Like, he was done. Like, he was like, okay, like either that tastes different and I don't like it anymore, or he was just over it and ready to like explore the world and not be on my boobs anymore. I don't know. Yeah, he was done, and he weaned himself, and it was easy, and I was never like engorged or anything after that. And it was easy. I didn't have to like do anything other than just like not feed him, and then my milk went away. And it was like a simple, easy process. With Eve, She was 11 months old when she weaned herself, but with her, I continued to pump for 4 months after she weaned herself, and I would give her a breast milk bottle like in the morning or in the evening, and that made me feel good about myself, because I was like, I wanted to give her breast milk for as long as possible. And so yeah, and with Auden, I don't see an end in sight at all. He is by far the most obsessed with breastfeeding out of all of my kids. Like, I've introduced solid foods to him, and he still is just like, oh yeah, that's okay. I'd rather have breast milk, thank you. More advice that I have to give is that if you ever want to be able to leave your baby and like do something like go to grocery shopping or get your nails done, whatever, you're gonna have to pump and like have milk anyways. But what you need to do is right away start introducing a bottle to the baby. So when I brought home all 3 of my kids, the first week that they were there, I pumped them a bottle and Josh gave it to them. None of my kids have ever had a problem with a bottle. Like, they've taken it like it's nothing. But I've known people who say that their babies won't take bottles, like they only will eat directly from the source, they will not drink out of a bottle. And I think that I saved myself like that headache by giving them the bottle so early on. So I would definitely suggest to you, if you plan on pumping and wanting to give them bottles, to introduce it early. So if you guys have any more questions for me about personal experience, definitely comment down below or send me a private message, and I will answer them to the best of my abilities. Everyone's situation is different, everyone's baby is different, and you do what's best for you and your baby, and you know, don't stress out. I think that's like the #1 thing, like don't stress yourself out. Either way your baby will be fed, and either way your baby will be healthy and it will thrive, and that's the amazing thing about it. If you are starting your breastfeeding journey, like, congratulations, I'm super excited for you, I'm rooting for you. Yeah, good luck. I hope that it goes well and that it's everything that you think that it's gonna be. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you got some good information from it, and that it wasn't too all over the place. I know that I tend to like ramble when I try to like passionately talk about something. I don't know why, I just can't stay like focused. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, subscribe to my channel and comment and come be a part of my family. I like to make these sit down videos probably like once a month. I don't like to do them very often because like I'm awkward, but I felt like this one was important and that I needed to make it, and I wanted to help educate some people and help some people along the way with their breastfeeding journey. Thanks for watching.